Good morning. How are you? I am on my way to work. Traffic is not as bad today, so I might actually get there early. But I just wanted to jump on real quick and just share with you. Wait for it. So, I remember a time when my son, my eldest, was getting ready to start middle school. And we had moved. I had gotten through divorce, and we had moved to. I bought a house that was in a different area. Long story, biggest mistake ever. He's like, Mom, I'm not going to go to the ghetto schools in our area. And I was like, well, I'm not going to lie and say we live in the area that we used to, because we didn't live there anymore. My ex still lived there because I let him keep the house that we had together. But I didn't live there anymore. So I told him, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie, Zach, but, I'll start looking for another house back in that area. If God opens the door, then, we can move back and you can go back to the schools that you want to go with all your friends. All his friends were going to the schools in that old area because he was still in the schools there, right? So, long story short, God amazingly opened the door. I found a place that I loved. The guy had 7 offers. One was a cash down deposit offer. Mine was contingent on selling the other house that I had bought in the other area. And the guy picked me. And that was like by itself a complete miracle. 7 offers. One was a cash down deposit, and mine was contingent on selling my house. So that was totally of God. I couldn't believe it. And I truly believe, because my heart was in the right place, and I wasn't willing to lie and compromise my integrity and my faith to give what my son wanted. So I think he was so faithful to honor that. But I wish I could say that it was all, uphill or all downhill from there, but it wasn't. I struggled to get financing, and then my house didn't sell. The other house never sold. The market crashed, and the other house didn't sell. So it's been, to this very day, I still suffer greatly from that, because it's just a long story, but I acquired debt trying to keep 2 houses afloat, being a single mom. It was nuts, but it was still a miracle that I was able to even do it. Again, God's hand has always been with me the entire time. But what it reminds me of is, today as I sit here, and I was thinking this morning, you ever feel like you're just, I shared earlier last week, I think it was, that you feel like you just wake up every day and have the same struggle. And this struggle has been going on for so many years, since 2006, I think it's been, that I have struggled, maybe a little bit, 2005, with this house, and with, I don't have any other debt. I'm debt free except for my home, but my home is huge. It's a huge debt. And I still struggle with that whole, having this expensive house and trying to stay afloat, and this morning I was thinking of, gosh, some days I just feel so tired, just so like, I can't believe that I'm still in this position and still struggling with it. But it reminded me, of the Israelites. Now you think about them, and the fact that, God rescued them from Egypt. They were in horrible bondage, and they were being mistreated, and so many horrible things were happening to them, and God rescued them in a miraculous way. Parted the Red Sea, all the crazy things God did for them, and then He brought them out, and every day He brought them, food came down from heaven to feed them, so they didn't have to even go out and hunt or anything. They just walked out of their bedroom, their house, their tents, and got the food, ate it. It was amazing. But if you look back at the Israelites, they complained and complained. They were never happy. They were like, we want meat, we want, and they started worshiping other idols, and they would quickly forget all the crazy, amazing, miraculous things God had done for them. And they were just not thankful, not grateful. And, so many times God was so angry with them, and He wanted to just destroy them. And eventually, most of them didn't make it into the promised land, right? Because of their lack of faith and their unwillingness to wait for the Lord and to trust in His mighty hand. So I'm thankful for that story because it reminds me today that I have to wait for it too. That God has a plan, and sometimes we can't see it, and sometimes we're tired. We're like, I've been wandering in the wilderness for 40 years, and I'm tired. You ever feel that way? You just feel like, oh, Lord, I'm so tired. Like, when are you going to intervene, or what are you going to do? But he has. Oh my gosh, if I look back, I mean, then I had to, I struggled with, the payments, and then God gave me an amazing, modification on the house, on my loan, that happened instantly. Most people had to wait years and go through this crazy, they had to go through, almost losing their house and everything. I had one phone call, and my house was modified on the spot. Again, God in his amazing, miraculous ways that he's helped me. Sorry guys, hold on one sec. But yeah, it was so crazy that he was able to do that for me. And I feel like I don't want to be like the Israelites. I'm always like, God, forgive me for the times when I waver in my faith and I forget the amazing, miraculous things that he has already done. Like those things I mentioned were total miracles. That was not something I did, not something I deserved, nothing that I could have done. That was 100% absolutely God's mighty hand that he orchestrated those things, and they are amazing and they are miracles. So I just want to be reminded today that even though my life might not be what I want it to be, my life may not be what I think it should be, my life may not be perfect, and I still struggle every single day, and I have to work really hard, and I'm tired, and I'm discouraged, and I'm still struggling with, the healing of my pain in my heart and crazy things, but God is still good, and he is still in control, and I cannot forget the amazing, miraculous things he's done in my life. So I'm reminded today that I have to wait for it, that I have to be willing to keep going on and keep trusting, even when nothing makes sense, even when it's easy to forget the amazing things God has already done. That I'm reminded today that I don't want to never make it to the promised land. I want to stay in God's purpose for my life, and to continue walking with him and trusting that even when nothing makes sense, even when I can't see the light at the end of the tunnel very well, that he is still in control, and that he is so gracious that he has brought me here, and he's not going to abandon me now after all he's already done. And I have to keep believing in that and standing in that truth. It's so easy to listen to the lies of the devil. He's the king of lies, and he will tell us we can't make it, you're never going to get there, or all these crazy things. You're not worthy, but that's a lie, because look what God has already done. So I think if you're suffering through something difficult and you've been on the same journey for a long, long time, just remember the Israelites. Remember that we don't want to walk in unbelief and faithless and lose hope, because God has a plan and he's with us. So be thankful for the things he's already done, and keep believing and trusting that he's going to carry us through. And we know that he will, because that's what his truth says, and that's what he's promised to us. So I know for me, in Jeremiah 29:11, that's something that's God's promise to me. Specifically, he gave me that verse, that I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. So on that truth I stand today, and rather than looking at my circumstances and what they aren't, I'm going to look back and be thankful for all that God has already done in my life, and how I've gotten to where I am today is an absolute miracle. So be willing to wait for it, and keep trusting, keep believing that our mighty God's hand is with us, and that we are not alone, and that he has a plan. All right, I hope that encourages you today. If this has brought some encouragement to you, maybe you can comment below, like the post, like my video, comment below, let me know something God's done in your life that you were reminded of today, or what your struggle is, if I can pray for you, if you can do that. If you have someone that needs to hear this word, maybe you can share this broadcast. All right, and if you're watching the rebroadcast, thank you for being here, and hope you have a fantastic day, guys. All right, love you. Bye.